Welcome back, guys. It's Maverick here, and today we're watching episode 6 of the Millionaire Detective. So, last episode, we learned a lot more about my favorite character, Daisuke, right? And his backstory does indeed seem quite familiar here. So we got this devilishly charming young man with unlimited amounts of money, whose fortune was mostly made by selling military armaments, who's later on kind of sort of fell into the hands of bad actors, to the point where the person in question himself was actually also being harmed by said weapons. In an ironic situation where you are being held, you are being harmed, or you are the casualty of almost a casualty anyways, of the very weapons that your family, your company produces, who has an AI, a god tier AI that can do literally anything, also a bit of an asshole, right? So we do have what I think to be a Tony Stark light or an Iron Man light here in Daisuke. But that's alright, because Iron Man is my favorite character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyways. That's probably why I like Daisuke so much. But yeah, anyways, we learn a lot more about his backstory and so on and so forth, but we're only to the halfway point of the series. I expect us to continue on and learn more and more about it. Personally, I'm really curious as to why he is saying he's not going to be able to inherit his family fortune. Is it a conscious choice on his part? Like, he also wants to stay clean out of these sort of kind of dirty business, if you will? Or is it actually a case where his family is trying to protect him and wanting him to lead a normal life? And that's probably also what drove him to be this detective, to come here to this modern crime division in the first place, right? So let's just jump right into it and see what we can learn in this one. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah. I think that's all the kind of references, right? All he is missing is a suit of armor, and then and then he's got everything. Right? Also having like this cave as well. I can't say. Ooh, broke her arm. He's like, I can't trust anyone. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, I guess with this, starting from this episode, or actually starting from last episode, maybe we're actually getting serious now. Enough with the gags and the comedy and whatnot. Indeed, I feel like even this story from last episode, where we deal with terrorist situations, we deal with nerve gas, terrorist attacks, and whatnot, it's already quite a level higher than what we've been dealing with up to this point. Well, this song was really lit. No, I think it works doubly well with this opening here. And with us knowing like Daisuke's character and whatnot. Okay. Why aren't your superiors here? They should be the ones to. The hell? Oh, he was off duty. Okay. Ah. I mean, this probably plays right into Haru's, like, ideals. You know, considering he idolizes the sort of lone wolf inspector, uh, taking no shit from his superiors and whatnot. I know, I feel like this is the first time so far I feel sympathetic for him. I don't really think he can do anything else. I guess this is a. This might be like a rival company. Uh, to the Kanbase group. Yeah. He's gonna be suicided. Goes any further. But is this actually going to get that dark though? If this was like a movie or something like that, this old guy is gonna get suicided. That means he's gonna get killed, by the way. Oh. See? Look, this guy's got death flags surrounding him like so many of it. Now saying he wants to retire and then always putting off the information like I'm gonna say something important to you, but not right now. Let me call my lawyer. Yeah, that to him is like evidence enough. Hmm. Whoa. What's he gonna do now? What damage? Oh. Damn. He's completely hacking her car. What are you going to try and do, though? Like, where are you taking her? Oh. You set her up. That guy's not dead, right? He's in on it. Yeah, that isn't shady at all. No, they're not a rifle company? Although I have to say what he's doing is quite illegal. I am unable to. He's like, why won't anybody tell me anything? And then, as a, as a prerequisite for a reinstatement back into the first division or whatever. It's that web tattoo. You're like, why does nobody tell me anything? So both of them. What about Grandma? Gonna try to get something out of her. Is this actually going to work though? That's... Then you try and do something, Haru. Boom. So it was her that was suicided. Really? Sayuri Kambe, yeah? Dang. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's getting serious here. Alright, see you guys after this. Well, as I mentioned, things are getting quite serious here, right? We've got a case dealing with, in fact, at the level of national security, lots of cover-ups, some very long-term cover-ups and whatnot. We've got people breaking the law left and right, and now we've also got 2 deaths as well. Now, honestly, I was quite conflicted during this episode in terms of the way they did things. You know, it's all nice and fun when they're sort of like Daisuke is sort of kind of breaking the law, but also you know, still covering their expenses, covering the damages and whatnot, and doing things his way. You know, I can do it off, laugh it off as just a gag or something. However, in this case, I happen to be a big believer of due process. So, you know, the whole innocent until proven guilty kind of saying here, I do buy into that very much. And specifically in this case, I'm really uncomfortable with those that are using their position of police authority to actually, you know, to actually just treat her as a criminal and go do all these you know, kind of sort of, well, not just kind of sort of, but actually illegal things to her, right? Like actually hacking into her computer and whatnot, and also trying to interrogate her based on a crime which she was not arrested of, or suspected of, you know, no formal warrant or whatnot. And also, of course, the continuous line of questioning even without her lawyer present. Although I'm not quite sure if Japan also has this sort of I have the right to remain silent until my lawyer arrives kind of deal. I think Japan might work a little bit different here. But well, all these cases, right? And also blackmailing as well. So to be honest, I would even be more okay with it if it was instead Daisuke just completely going rogue and not utilizing his position as an inspector or whatnot and just doing his own private investigation, if you will. I think I would have even preferred that more to him actually utilizing his position of power and doing things like this. Like, does that kind of make sense to you guys? It's really the role that you are taking to do that. Like, I can get behind, for the sake of a good story, Daisuke is a vigilante or whatnot, just taking matters into his own hands, especially since this is kind of like a family matter as well. If he wants to do that on his own time as a private citizen and do this kind of illegal stuff, then sure, I'm not going to judge him for that. That's his own decision, right? But actually abusing his identity as a police officer, that's where I kind of cross the line here. And the same goes for that old inspector dude as well, blackmailing and whatnot. Not to mention, I feel like they went about this entire case way too heavy-handed. I feel like, especially in this case where Daisuke has all these resources and surveillance resources and whatnot, they could have easily went with the long game, right? They could have easily let her go and have, like, trail her or something like that, or maybe keep an eye out on her, and so on and so forth, instead of really jumping the gun and just basically threatening her and asking her to spill the beans. Now, who actually killed her? Now, even though the dialogue at the very end is supposed to allow us to think that it might be Daisuke, right? I don't think that really makes sense. He wants information. He wants to get to the bottom of this. He doesn't want to just kill her off for some revenge or whatnot, right? So, most probably, it was her boss that killed her off to tie up a loose end, especially since she reported back to the boss in regards to this situation, right? So, I'm guessing she was just silenced to make sure that no information actually leaks out. Although I wouldn't be surprised if her death actually causes Daisuke instead to come under suspect and get arrested or whatnot, since the First Division is already sort of suspecting him and making an illegal arrest, right? And so that would also tie into him being a suspect for blowing her up, even though, of course, that's not really what he wants. I mean, if he did blow her up, then I would say shame on him. That's definitely not the way to go about things. You want to get to the bottom of the case. You don't. She herself personally doesn't really have any relation to this entire thing, I don't think. She's just a minion, if you will. As for the rest, the entire case and whatnot. So, okay, one other thing I wanted to touch on is you remember last episode, I was talking about how, okay, this might be a situation where Daisuke is deliberately being kept away from these sort of family secrets, with the entire you don't have operation and whatnot. I am kind of wondering though, now that Suzue is also kind of subjected to the same treatment and whatnot. It could still be, of course, the case where their family simply doesn't want them touching this case, or they want them to stay away, either for protective reasons or otherwise. But I'm also kind of curious, because it's clearly stated here that this Mizuho Future Technologies company has close ties with the Kanbei group, right? In fact, they might even be a subsidiary of some sort, or so on and so forth. Could it be like a sort of takeover from the Mizuho side, maybe even completely hacking the AI of Kanbei's family, or that Kanbei is using, so that these sensitive files are protected, and so on and so forth, right? So there could also be that kind of case as well. Hard to say, but indeed, this is something that we should observe going further. Now, I certainly wasn't expecting her to be the one to die, the executive, I guess you could say, the director. I am totally expecting the old guy, Chosuke, right? Chosuke. I was totally expecting him to die in this episode for sticking his nose too deep, right? Especially since all the death flags were there, continuously saying that always saying, hey, you're about to retire, keep it easy, just relax, a few more years and whatnot. Or the fact that he keeps on saying, I'll tell you the details later, and so on and so forth, and not really, really truly saying everything, and then also having to rely on outside context as well. I don't know. The whole situation just screams that he's going to be silenced in some way. He's going to dip his hands too deep and then get caught off, right? And then that's where the investigation is going to have to be picked up by Daisuke and Haru. But hey, they might be going for a different kind of situation here, so we'll see about that. But definitely, the few things that I am thinking going forward is still a Daisuke to fall under suspicion and perhaps a revoke of his inspector status, and perhaps even being placed under arrest or whatnot. Haru also receiving an order to maybe apprehend Daisuke or something, and then I guess eventually these two will team up, and Haru's gonna be like, "No, I believe in Daisuke," and then they both try and get to the bottom of this and whatnot. We're probably gonna have to deal with like corruption as well, maybe some under the table money from government officials trying to cover up for Mizuho future. Maybe not even under the table money, maybe just a case of national secrets, right? If they are dealing with these things so much related with the military and national security and whatnot, you can easily also say that it might be a cover up, doing some kind of illegal things for the sake of national security and all that. So I do think that those are stuff that we can expect going forward, and let's just see in the next few episodes. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next week as well. Bye bye.